We're now going to take a look at two other calculations when we use GDP, the GDP growth rate and the GDP per capita. To find GDP growth rate, you have to take the new GDP, the GDP that's closer to the year that you're currently in, minus the old GDP, divided by the old GDP, times 100. So we're going to use two numbers, the GDP in 2010, which was $14.74 trillion, and the GDP in 2011, which is $15.32 trillion. The new GDP would be 2011 because it's closer to today, and the old GDP would be 2010, which would be the date that's farther away from today. So, given these two numbers, what we're going to do is have 15.32 trillion minus 14.74 trillion over the old one, 14.74 trillion. And when we're all done, we're going to multiply this times 100. One thing to be aware of is if you just type the entire string into your calculator, you're going to come up with a wrong answer. What you're going to want to do is make sure that you put in parentheses what's on top, or hit enter after the first subtraction. Then, when you type it in correctly, what you should have come up with is a 3.93% growth rate. One last calculation for GDP would be GDP per capita, which is simply the GDP divided by the population. So if the GDP in 2011 was $15.32 trillion, and the population of the United States was 313 million people, when we type this big long string into the calculator, what you would come up with is the value $48,945.69 per capita or per person.